So as many of you know, I'm a Jamba Juice fan. I go to Jamba Juice pretty much every day. I should probably have some stock in the company, by now the frequency that I go there. But today was a very fun day, so to speak, a very insightful day, a very blessed day at Jamba Juice. So I ordered my drink, Pink Star, large, just like always. I'm sitting down, waiting for my drink to get made, and an officer walks in, and the officer, glances at me, and smiles. And, me, I'm a type of person, I pretty much nod my head, or I pretty much acknowledge, every person, on the street that I see that comes in any close vicinity to me. I always just, show some type of acknowledgement to them. So, in the same way, I responded back and smiled and, waved to him and so forth. So, he walks by, he orders a drink, and then he comes and he sits down next to me, and, he notices I'm wearing my Chiefs stuff, which I wear a lot of athletic apparel, and he starts to ask me, "A Chiefs fan?" That's what he asked me, I said something like that, and then I start to tell him, he starts explaining how he used to work at Fresno State, and he knew a guy, he met a guy that played for the Chiefs and so forth, when he was on campus, serving in the residence dining hall, and the guy he was talking about happened to be my father. So I told him who I was, and he said, "Oh, okay, you look like him," so forth. So we get to talking and so forth, and just off the bat, the first thing he says is, he goes, "It's been kind of weird lately. There's been kind of a different feel as of late." I know exactly what he's talking about, alluding to, the recent events that have happened, in our world, and so to speak. And, you can kind of see the draw on his face, and you can see that he was, he understood, the gravity of what was going on. He said he had experienced, the riots and Watts when he had first started as an officer. So, he has been exposed to these types of atmospheres, but he said this one was a little bit different. And, we got to just talking, just about, things that are going on and perceptions and, how people are, dealing with these tragedies and how to funnel their emotions and so forth. And this whole time we're talking, people are walking in and they're kind of looking, at us and like, what's this guy doing talking to the officer, this young black male talking to this middle-aged, Caucasian officer, like, what are they talking about? Is he in trouble? Or, I know what they're probably thinking in their head, but, it was just kind of funny to, like, I'm like looking into the side and kind of noticing people's reaction. There's one guy sitting over here, on the stool, and he's kind of just literally like just staring at me, like trying to decipher what I'm saying. Am I saying something, derogatory? Am I saying, Black Lives Matter or something like that? Like, I think he's like ready to like jump in and like, "Hey, don't say that. You can't talk about it." But he realized what we were talking about was everything was positive, and I think that that surprises a lot of people. When people come from two different backgrounds or two whatever, that they can actually come together and they can civilize in a civilized manner, dialogue and talk to each other, have a proper conversation. And most of the time we're sitting there, we're laughing, we're talking about we're sports, we're talking about he was a Christian too. We started talking about God. He talking about how he helps kids and mentors kids and goes to Gateway and coaches and all this stuff. I'm like, man, that's the stuff I do. Like, we're on the same wavelength. Like, we understand, like what the world is and what it's going to take to get the world back to where it's supposed to be. So I think that was just an amazing moment, just to show people, not just for us, but just show the public and the general public population that had coming through that store, and even the people that were working there, just, this is the way to do things, and this is the way to, understand, people, and understand that, it's not all about the labels. It's not all about what we characterize ourselves as, what we categorize ourselves as. He could be a police officer, I could be a football player, whatever it is, but that's not who we are. That's what we do. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. And I think once we understand that and comprehend that and grasp that concept, that's when we begin to have those conversations like me and Officer Herring had. So, we talked for a good, 45 minutes. Our drinks are just sitting there. We're not even drinking our drinks. They're just sitting there like melting and stuff because we're so, involved in the conversation at hand. And it was just all positive, man. It was just amazing just to sit there and just talk to him and just to feel him out and get his thoughts and wonder what's on his mind and trying to come up with some solutions to how to quell this. And it was just really, really awesome. And at the end, we actually got a chance. I actually asked him, I said, you mind if I pray for you? I just felt like I had that on my mind. I felt like I just wanted to pray for him. So I put hands on him, prayed for him, prayed for his protection, prayed for his family, his colleagues, and so forth. And, it was just amazing, to be in that moment and to experience that. And I think that, as individuals in this world, we have to start having those types of conversations. We have to start reaching out to people that we don't know, to people that we have these perceptions about. I'm different. I'm not saying anybody else's way is wrong or anything, but I'm just different because I was raised in such an unbiased manner. Like, I didn't have any type of influences telling me don't do that because he's that skin color, don't mess with him because he's that skin color, don't date her because she's Caucasian. I never had people like that in my life. I never had role models like that or my parents like that telling me to do the things. They were always versatility, get to know everybody, get to know everyone, go out into the world and experience people, learn about people, respect people. That's how I was raised. So my whole perception of life is a lot different from a lot of other people. I would say 95% of us are controlled by our learned conditions, by our learned biases, and by our preconceptions. And what I mean by that is, if I'll give you for example, if you were 15 years old, okay, if you're 15 years old, and let's say, God forbid, somebody broke into your house. Let's say it was a black guy. A black guy broke into your house and beat your mom up and shot somebody and killed somebody or whatever. It might not be so much of the action that you're angry at after that, but the skin color of that person you will always remember. You see what I'm saying? Because that heinous action was committed, but it's really the skin color that you focus on. So from then on, you automatically attribute every skin color as being associated with the behavior, with that heinous behavior. So that's how a lot of us are. We experience we have traumatic experiences in our life, and after that we attribute that experience to maybe what the characteristic or the category of what the person was. So it could be even on a whole completely different other side. Say a police officer harasses you or something like that in the past. Why do we all of a sudden say that all police officers are this, all police officers are that? We begin to generalize. It's the same thing for everything, for black people, white people, whatever. We always want to generalize everything based on our own personal experiences. And if you really think about it, that's kind of illogical and it's kind of foolish. So we really need to start checking ourselves and realizing and recognizing that we have these personal biases, and we need to remove those experiences and forget about those experiences and say, you know what? That was just one isolated incident. That was just one person, one individual with their own evil, selfish agenda. Not everybody has that agenda. Not everybody has, those selfish intentions. And then once we realize that, we begin to, look at it from that perspective, then everything changes. And then I'm like, okay, I understand. Okay, that's why. Okay, and then everything comes into fruition. So, like I said, today was a great day. Today was an awesome day. Today was an honest day. And I'm just glad that I was there to, in that moment. I don't think that was coincidence at all. I think God, set that up, for a reason. People just don't show up and pop up with that and sit down and start talking to you for no reason. So I think that was definitely, God ordained. And I hope that, we can keep in touch and we actually can do some things for the community and join together, because that's what it's all about. If we're going to change and if we're going to make any type of positive change, any type of positive movement, we're going to have to do it together. There's no way that one group can do anything by themselves. One group can come and say, we're just going to have this movement and we're going to change the world. No, it has to be everybody. And you have to find a way to collectively bring everybody together with one common goal. And I think the common goal for us right now is love. We got to find a way to love. We got to find a way to understand. That's all umbrella under love. Understanding, comprehension, empathy. Those things are all under the umbrella of love. So, we're getting close. We're getting there. We're starting to figure out, what it means to empathize and what it means to be in another person's shoes. And I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing to see because it puts you in a whole different perspective and it puts you in a whole different mindset to really, find solutions instead of breaking down walls. So, I just had to share that with you guys today. Hope everybody's blessed out there. Prayers out to anybody out there who's going through anything right now, anybody who's suffering, and I love everybody. God bless.